Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Sid.
I'm Tay.
And today we are going to be watching episode 16, only part 1 of the first. Because 16 part 2 is too long. It'll be its own video.
Yes. Um yeah, so that's what we're doing today. However, we are going to have a little bit of a longer intro today to cover some things. Obviously we took some time off. We want to address that. And some things happened that we would also like to talk about. So I will be putting a timestamp either on the screen or in the description for when we actually start watching the show. So if you don't really care about what we're about to say, you can skip ahead to that time. But yeah, that's a little bit of a longer intro this time, just so you guys are aware.
Got some housekeeping to do.
Yeah. So first things first, with the show cancellations, uh, the week that the shows were canceled, we had already recorded the episodes for that week, so that's why we didn't take a week off when they were canceled, because we already had stuff ready to go. So it was just easier to get that posted and get it out. And then last week we took off to try and work some things out. We are still going to the New York show. That was always going to
Yes.
be something that we did. That was our first choice in seeing. And then Philly was kind of like tacked on a couple days after, because we were like, we have,
Well, why not?
yeah, we have the means and we can have the time available to do that. So why not? But then it got canceled.
Yeah.
We had already started to make accommodations for Philly. So we did lose some money recently, because we were unable to get some money back for some of the things that we paid for to accommodate for Philly, which is really unfortunate. We're doing okay. Like, we're not in any serious trouble or anything like that. But if you would like to help us, have a little bit of extra money to like cover food or anything like that in New York, we do have a Ko-Fi that's still up. I know that it's been a little bit since we've talked about the Ko-Fi, but it's still up, it's still available. So if you have any extra money that you would like to give to us to spend while we're in New York seeing B first, you're more than welcome to do that. We have it in our bio in our channel, but we also put it in every description in our video. So that's available for you guys if you feel like you want to help us out. You don't have to, but it's
No
there.
pressure. Yeah.
Um and the second thing that we want to talk about is not so fun. Obviously, the night of the first show in LA, some things came out about the Oki. We saw everything happen in real time. We saw the article come out. We saw the translations come out for the article. We saw BMSG's first official joint statement with Flash Up. They're still doing investigations, so we're waiting to hear what they have to say next on an official basis. We are not social commentary YouTubers. We're not drama YouTubers. So we probably won't be saying too much about this, but we are human beings with a moral compass. So if any of the things that are alleged that have not been disputed already turn out to be true, we want to say that we're disappointed in his actions.
Very.
Um,
Very.
we do not support actions like that here. It's just wrong. If any of those are true, then obviously we will be looking at him as a different person, which is unfortunate. Yeah. But we didn't want to not say anything about it because it's a huge thing. It's a really big like breach of trust that happened, and on multiple fronts. But we also didn't want to
By multiple parties.
Right. We also didn't want to make it a whole thing either.
Yeah.
Because it's his personal business to a certain degree, but unfortunately, with the way that he went about it, it turned very public, and that's on him.
Yeah. Yeah. And it shouldn't have to affect everybody around him the way it is. And that's, I think, what we most personally have a problem with is how much it's going to affect everybody else involved.
And even people that are just around him that aren't involved directly.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we're waiting to hear an official update from BMSG, whether it be another joint statement or a statement on their own or any kind of update like that. We do know that things have been said on like fan club and architect and stuff like that, but as far as I know, neither of us are really in there. So we just know that things have been said. We just don't know what's been really said.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just waiting for like an official thing that's for the public, for everyone to read and digest and everything. Um,
Yeah.
Once we get an update about that, we might say something uh, else about the situation. It'll just depend on what they have to say.
Yeah.
Um, with all that being said, uh, we're obviously still going to the show. We don't want to not support the other 6 members of Be First. That does not seem fair. That would again
No.
be punishing them for somebody else's solo actions, and that's not right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and we're also going to be continuing with the show as normal, but we might just not have too much things to say about Bioki because of the situation, because it just doesn't feel right.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. Just doesn't sit right with us to be talking the same way we usually talk about. We usually try to talk about everybody, right? But there's definitely gonna be some times where we just don't say anything.
And I do also want to say that while I have been mostly spoiler free, I do know that he has made a mistake in similar caliber to this before at the end of the show, so I am aware of that. I don't know the exact details. I will obviously learn them when we get to that episode. But I am aware that this is not a first time offense of his. Um, so yeah, that is just something that is also on my mind. So when we get to that episode, we might need to take a minute or two to take
A lap.
take a lap around our respective homes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really unfortunate. I also we both realized that this news hitting like the mainstream, like the public, was timed in a way to sabotage a lot of things. The show that he is on, the tour that Be First are on, that started that same night. Everything,
Yeah.
like the timing was very suspicious. We realized that, and that is deeply unfortunate for many reasons. So we know that there is quite a bit of nuance with this situation, but it still happened, and we still have to deal with our feelings about that. So
Yeah.
we are currently dealing with our feelings about that.
Yeah. As it stands, we're all still processing. I think, personally.
Yeah. For
For
sure.
yeah. It'll be a long road ahead.
Yeah. We just didn't want to have like a whole super long thing. Like obviously this is a longer intro than normal because we wanted to cover these things. We just didn't we're not in the business of talking about drama or anything like that. But this situation unfortunately affects the music side of things because it changes how we see the music, how we enjoy the music, how we see the company going forward. Their response is also going to shape how we see the company moving forward. So we hope that careful consideration is taken in regards to what to do next, their next steps. We hope that it's not just brushed under the rug if something else did happen, if they investigate and there was some wrongdoing beyond whatever happened between him and this woman. We hope that it's not just a slap on the wrist and he gets to move on. We hope that there are some actions taken, and he truly reflects on what he's done, not just to the people that are in this situation directly, but the people around him.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Especially for the artists in the company that look up to him.
Yeah, the artists that have worked with him very closely, the younger ones that look up to him, obviously the pillars of the company as well, whether they be artists or producers or staff or whatever. It affects everybody, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We all wish that it wasn't like this, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I don't have any personal problems with people dating. Don't care about that.
Don't give
when
a
it
shit.
starts to get messy, and you start to do some shit you shouldn't do.
Yeah, when it starts to affect the reputation of the people that you work with, that are around you, that have put their life savings, their lives on the line for you to have a chance at doing something great, that's when it becomes something that we can't look past, that we can't stomach ourselves. But beyond that, any of the members that date or have relationships or don't have relationships or whatever, we don't care. We don't give a fuck.
No, absolutely not. I hope they're very happy in their lives. I hope they're making meaningful connections with people.
Yeah, because I mean, what is music without making meaningful connections with people, whether it be romantically or platonically or otherwise? You can't have art without emotions, and we hope that all of the relationships that the guys have are healthy and good and happy, but that doesn't always happen. We just hope it doesn't explode in this way again, ever again.
Yeah. Ever again.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. What a weird note to start the episode on, but
what a weird way to start the show.
But yeah, we had to say something.
Yeah,
because it didn't feel right to just like go business as usual. Even if we like didn't talk about him as much, it would just feel very strange. So
yeah, and kind of disingenuous too. Like, we're not acting in these videos. We're just speaking our minds, you know?
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're human beings. We have a moral compass. We have emotions. We have opinions. You guys are here to listen to our opinions. So if you disagree with our opinions about this, that's fine. If you're going to leave rude comments, don't. But if you do,
they will get deleted.
Yeah. Sorry. But not really. So,
yeah. Don't say anything mean in the comments.
Yeah.
This is not the place for that. We're trying to watch a show here.
Yeah. But anyway.
Now 16. The show that we're about to watch.
Yeah.
I also just completely glossed over the fact that I dyed my hair.
And I cut my hair.
I have brown hair. I have brown hair now. So
yeah, we both
on we go.
We both changed our hair and didn't say anything to each other until we got on call.
Yeah, we both got on call and we both had different hair, and I'm like, now that's a mental breakdown. God, I'm gonna have to.
やっぱり疑似プロ審査やって一番思ったのは、なんかものすごくレベルの高いアマチュアの方が今集まっているという状態なので、例えばもう明日デビューっていうのが叶うっていうのはちょっと難しいなと思ってます。ただもう少し時間があって年内でデビューできる人たちしか残ってないとも同時に思ったので、それにはあと何を超えればいいのかっていうのを彼らに対して課題を改めて提示しながら、その課題に対してクリアできる、もしくはクリアできそうだなとこちらが判断する。この1ヶ月で培ったもの全てを出していただいて、その上で年内のデビューという形にやはり届かないと判断された方をここで脱落させることになります。
Yeah, so that maybe it's not him deciding right then, but it sounds like the beginnings of him like being like, I need to see more before I can make a decision. Especially with him saying like they're not ready to debut tomorrow, but if we gave them some more time.
Yeah.
次の審査の、内容の発表をします。はい。まず次もチーム戦です。はい。チームのメンバーはここにいる11人全員。はい。11人でワンチーム。
One team。
そしてディジプロ審査を終えた君たちが 次に挑むのはバーサスプロのアーティスト。君たち11人でプロのアーティストに挑んでもらいたいと思っています。はい。プロのアーティストの楽曲を11人全員でカバーして、ただなぞるのではなくて、
Like his face
そこ
is
にあるものを
just
なぞるのではなくて、
he's like the achy
君たちの歌としてパフォーマン
merch
スしてほしいと思っています。
Achy.
The First 合宿最終審査、君たちが挑むプロのアーティストはもう目の前にいます。
Yo. It's so dramatic. They're all like shitting themselves.
君たちが挑戦するアーティストの名前を教えましょう。
Literally so dramatic.
the hoodie up.
ちなみに、歌い分けもコレオグラフも
He's like, I gotta hit this pose real quick.
君たちのクリエイティビティで歌い分けやコレオグラフを作ってこの楽曲をパフォーマンスしてください。
Oh,
この合宿
oh my god, baby Taiki.
できたので、聴いてください。
Where the hell do you see Taiki?
俺たちの歌なので。
He was in one of, it was like
Oh,
for 2
okay.
seconds.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
there he
I
is.
see.
Sorry, I just have Taiki radar.
Oh yeah, because this is like way before Shota changed his hair.
純粋に
Yeah.
楽しみたいし表現したいし、僕の歌として僕たちの歌として届けたいなっていう気持ちでいっぱいです。
グループの審査内容が決まって11人でやるってことになって大人数でやるのもすごい楽しみだし
Though I do
思
have
った
some
んですけ
concerns.
ど、
今確信していることとして自分が言えるとしたら必ず勝てます。絶対に勝てるという確信を持ってます。日本を浸透させるパフォーマンスを必ず僕らは作ります。
To the First は一般的なローキーとハイキーとリズムの細かいところと分けるところとさまざまなアプローチを使ってるんですけど、技術的な難易度以上にそこに乗っける感情の成分、それをこうコントロールしてただ感情をはち切れさせるんじゃなくて、感情を
Unhinged.
表現として使うことが本当に大事な楽曲になってくると思います。なので普通に歌がうまい、普通にダンスがうまいというものをステージでやるのではなくて、楽曲が持っている感情だったり自分の意思だったり、そういったものをちゃんと表現としてステージでできる人間になってもらうにあたって合宿最終審査の課題曲としてふさわしいと判断しています。
さて私思ったんですけど、多分これ歌をさどこでさ切り替わるかを先決めといた方がさ、歌割り決めやすいんじゃないかなって思ったんだよね。でここで一人ここで一人ここで一人みたいに決めてった方が多分想像イメージつきやすいかなって思う。あとなんか大歌ラップみたいなイメージがあるじゃん。ここ大歌でここが歌ラップでこっちラップでみたいなイメージ持ちな
I
がら
love seeing this stuff.
そうだね、わかんない、ぶっちゃけなんもなんとなくここかなっていうのでさ、別に何でもいいけどさ、こうなんかあれしてみようでみんなでこうやってさ、そうここで一人かなみたいな感じで。
Bro just sat right in front of us. Hey, we were watching.
I know that over the shoulder shot of Sky High is so menacing. He's just sitting there like 2 feet away.
To the first, to the first. 最高のパフォーマンスにしたいので、
He had to say it both
これ
ways.
をまずみんなが一つにして頑張る。
Anytime he speaks English now, I think about when he spoke English on Monato's Kitchen.
11人で船に乗って
The cheese will remember you forever.
そんなイメ
He's
ージ
so
を
fun.
頭に入れ
Sailing.
てチ
Sailing.
ームを成功に導く、世間を驚かせる、これを僕にとっての課題にしたいと思います。
It's not too late. 1番の部分は割と大きく分けた方がいいんじゃないかって思ってさっき言った時で、2番は結構割と1番の後にこう歌詞的にも希望が見えてきたような、そういった歌詞になってきてるし、流れ星をつかむように空をかけるとか放射線を描くっていう、なんていうんだろう、結構歌詞としては速い、流れ星も結構速く動くみたいなイメージでいくと、この Now I gotta go ぶちかまそう君とのところを3つに分けるのも
俺全く同じこと書いた。
面白いんじゃないかっていう、
Cute.
それこそなんか流
Same
れ星み
wavelength.
たいにこうどんどん歌い
The two of them.
めっちゃいいと思ったそれ。
それで多分大サビ感を演出できるような気がする。
Golden Retriever and Black Cat.
さらっとまとめるようにして1番を分ければいいんです。
間とその炎一緒でもいいかな。だったらこのレオ君の言ったこの授業
あ
入るか
入る
入るかなっていうのはあるんだけど、
ほらがっつり踊るんだったらさ、そのあれじゃない、間を埋めるっていうかさ、イメージに言ったらセンターで歌ってやつじゃん。
俺やりたいですか。
いいですか。
そうね。
責任者をここね、正確で止まります。責任者を呼ぶな。
歌うならここ行きたい。俺翔太君。うん、そうだ君。責任者。
Sota kun.
Not the through the legs shot.
ファミレスとかで言っていいじゃん。はい。
自分で作るさ何でもあり。
ありがとうございます。
何者でもないさなぎのバタフライ、ここじゃ終わらない終わる気すらないでしょ。めっちゃいいやん。
頭の歌い出しって本当大事だから、この曲のメインと言っても過言ではない。それは言い過ぎだ。スタートダッシュだから本当に大事だから。
Killing part.
歌いたいな、全然歌いたいです。
最年少から始まるんでね、おもろいかもしれませんさ。
次に竜兵が来るって
He looks so grown now. It's crazy.
決まりました。はい。
Yeah.
もう一回聞かせて、もう一回聞か
Oh,
せて。
I love the distribution of this performance. I just remembered.
物語と現れたその夢を超えるため走り出そう。
トゥーザファーストは歌詞僕最初なんですけど、
僕4年生の時に
I might cry when they perform
ダンスを始め
actually.
てアーティストになりたいって夢を持ってて、そのなんか学校で自己紹介カードみたいなのあって、それに書いたんですよ、アーティストになりたいって。で最初はなんかアーティスト何それみたいな、なんかそういう笑いが起きてて、なんかあの日自分の夢が笑われたみたいな、そういう、でもその夢を超えるために走り出すみたいな、そういう歌詞なので、それはやっぱり自分に合うし、
But
しか
they're
も
not laughing now.
としても表現力にしてもしやすいというか、まあしやすいので、そこは自分で立候補しました。
歌い分けみんなで歌振り分けて決めた後にみんなで見たら、もう本当にすごい気持ちいいぐらいバーンってみんなハマって、もう本当その通り、あなたが歌うべくして歌う歌詞じゃんっていうのが本当にしみるような、そんな歌詞が詰まった一曲なので、これはもうあと革命を起こすしかないなって話もみんなでしました。
4 hours.
ちょっといいですか。
And that song has probably been playing on loop the whole time.
11人いるじゃないですか。その性格に合わせて振り付けも作りたいから、なんか
Yes.
俺に任せてくれるなら大雑把な振り付けを俺が作っちゃおうかなって一回。
I'm normal.
それでいいかな。
土台は絶対。
You don't have to be. That's alright.
なんかただのパフォーマンスじゃさ、
I'm not.
失禁さんとか越せないと思うし、なんかみんなのことを知ってる俺だからこそ、なんかいろいろ聞いた上で作りたいなって、そういうのをパフォーマンスした方が多分感動は生まれると思う。
入る。
入れると思う。
I think this might be like insider information. I think this is when I started Oshiing Sota. Was like this episode. That's crazy.
Insider information is crazy.
Insider information, aka my brain.
難しいことになるんじゃないかなっていうのをすごい思っていて、プレッシャーの大きさだったり期待度の大きさ、あとこの合宿を締めるというその大きな
Them showing him picking his nose
そこ
is
に
crazy,
やっぱ
bro. Like
ダンサーとして、まあ、世界で
He's just like me.
踊ってるコレオグラファーとして僕は
Maybe.
がチームにいる
Maybe I'm
と
not
いう
kidding.
ことはやっぱパフォーマンスも期待されるだろうし、そこをしっかり自分の実力を発揮しなきゃいけないところだなって思う反面、僕はとりあえずみんなが練習できる環境を作ってあげたいので、まずはパフォーマンスの組み立てからちょっと今日の夜から集中してなるべく早く完成させたいなというふうに思います。
もちろんそのボーカルレコーディングやディレクションとか表現に対する
I love Sota
心の部
so
分
much,
っ
bro.
ていうのはガイドしていったりサポートしていったりしたいですけど、クリエーションそのものに関しては極力口は出したくないなという感じですね。そもそもがもう自分からバトンを渡した形になるので、どうフィニッシュさせるかは彼らのアイデアに任せたい部分は本当は大きいですね。
makes sense.
正直やっぱ集まるメンバーっていうのも不安だったし、なんなら一番は自分が歌が未経験っていうのに一番不安はあったけど、今こうやってオーディション重ねていくうちに日高さん考えるのが本当に
Please tell us what he's saying. Please.
僕は
I know, I like how they just didn't translate any of that.
実力だけでこの先いける話じゃないなっていうのをすごい悩んだ時期があって、ダンサーとして、やっぱでも昔からなんかガツガツ踊るダンサーより俺はブルーノマーズとかマイケル・ジャクソンとか、そのやっぱもうマイクを持って自分が発する音楽にも乗ってるこのフィーリングっていうのが大好きで、そもそもダンスを始めたからずっとマイクを持って踊るってことは憧れてたんだけど、それもダンサーとしても俺はめちゃめちゃマックスまで上がった時に、そういうもう同世代の、しかも俺の方が勝率がいいやつらがすごいどんどん活躍していくのを見て、そのまあ自分の弱さも感じたし、あと日本人っていう弱さもすごい日本人っていうのをめちゃめちゃ悔やんだ時期もあったし、でそういう時になんか戦略っていうか頭を使おうってなった時に、じゃあずっと憧れてたマイクを持って自分が有名なアーティストになって自分で全部作るっていうのをやればもっとすごいことなんじゃないかなっていうのを僕はその同世代を越すために思いついたっていうのを、まあ俺が身をもってラップが成長できたなっていうすごい嬉しい体験したのもそうだけど、本当になんかすごい運命で集まった11人だなと思うから、俺は本当にこの中でこれをしっかり決めてさらに上に自分の夢も叶えに行きたいなっていうふうに思ってるから、絶対成功させたいと思います。はい、よろしくお願いします。
お願いします。
このオーディションを受けたこう儀式というか、それ自体はまあ本当にアーティストっていうそのライブとかにもともと憧れて、こうああいう大きい舞台だとかテレビに出てパフォーマンスするっていうに憧れて受けたら本当にここまで来たっていう、もうなんていうのかいまだに、この前もレイちゃんとかゆうきくんに話したけど、本当にいつの間にかここにいた感があって、あんだけ大人数受けてて審査30人まで行って、それでさえ緊張してたのに今になってもう11人まで絞られてきて、そう、ここに本当になんかここに残ってる人たちって本当に化け物なんだなみたいな本当に化け物が揃ってるから、こうそれ以上のものがこう今集まってやってるっていうことは、本当に合わせたら相当な爆発力になる。
Ron is kind of a quiet mood
一
maker.
番に思うことってこうやって
I see that.
こう高いレベルで同じこう夢とか目標を持った人たちが切磋琢磨できる環境ってなかなかないなと思って、それ音楽でやっぱ通ずるものって本当にすごいなって思うし、だからこそなんかこの曲聴いた時っていう歌詞見た時に、特にフックの部分とか炎を燃やすとか怖くても進めとか、すごいメッセージ性が強いなと思って、合宿来た時とか本当にみんな何も分からなくてさ、なんかどうなっていくんだろうっていう不安が多分みんな大きかったと思うけど、 その不安もあって怖くてもこう進んでいこうみたいな、自分たちにも歌えるし、今みんなが隣にいるこう仲間たちにも歌えるし、なんかこう熱い気持ちが伝わればもうそれはそれでもう立派なパフォーマンスだと自分は思うから、なんか見てる一人一人のこう胸が熱くなるようなパフォーマンスが本当に11人でできたらいいなと思います。
そうだね、
頑張りましょう。
頑張ろう。
頑張りましょう。
俺はこのオーディションを受けたきっかけは就職に切り替えてちょっとしたタイミングで日高さんのこのオーディションがもうトリプル A 好きだったから、本当に最後のチャンスだと思って試しに受けてみようっていうので受けたら今こういう状態になってて、でも合宿来る前に就職先も断って、もうここにかけて
Can't
る
believe
か
we
ら
could have lost Junon to being a salaryman
マジ
or
で
something.
みんなと
I'm glad we didn't.
めちゃくちゃいいものを作って
It's just
本当
incredible.
に最後まで
We
やりきり
almost
たいなって
lost him, bro.
思ってます。
うん。
だからマジでビシバシダンスを教えてください。いやマジで頑張るから。
頑張ろう頑張ろう頑張ろう頑張ろう頑張
He
ろう。
said, I can take it.
はいどうぞ。
まあその僕はなんだろう、このオーディションを受ける前は、まあ芸能界にはいさせてもらってはいるけど、まあ別のジャンルのお仕事をずっとしていたわけで、で、まあ、その中でもやっぱ理不尽なものっていうのが、特にすごい多い業界だなっていうのは正直感じていた。このオーディションを日高さんの、まあ、会社を BMSG 立ち上げたっていう時に、その名目としてバンって一番最初に会社の方っていうのが出た時に、もう理不尽なバラエティ要素はない、もう全て実力、もうクオリティファースト、アーティシズムファースト、クリエイティビティ、なんかこれの言葉を見た時になんかもうこれ信じるしかもうはっきり言ってないし、これで逆に言ってしまえば理不尽なものがあるんだったらこれを言っといてっていうのは正直あったけど、蓋開けてみたらそれをちゃんと見てくれて選んでくれたのは日高さんだったわけで、改めて本当にここにいる人は理不尽も何もクソもへったくれもなくて本当にすごい人たちだからっていうのは嫌でも本当にわかるだから本当に自分を信じて、みんなも当たり前のように信じちゃって、もっと上目指していけるかなって思ってる。愛してる愛してる。
オッケー、愛してるよ。
まあ俺もだからオーディションを受けた理由っていうか、そもそも音楽は中学生ぐらいでから憧れてて、やっぱ歌って踊るアイドルに最初は憧れて、でその中で自分で音楽やっていく中で若干その道を諦めながら自分なりにソロアーティストとしていろいろやってきて、やっぱ根っこでずっとその憧れてたもの、歌って踊るのを見てテレビで見るとなんで俺はここにいないんだろうっていうのがすごいあって、個性を殺さないと俺はボーイズグループできないと思うにはなれないと思ってたから、変わってると思ってたから、自分のやりたいことがそれには向いてないと思ってたんだけど、それでもこうやって受け皿があって、で入ってみたらそれをすごく尊重してくれて、ただただボーイズグループがやりたい人たちじゃないというか、すごい環境に身を置けてるなっていうのは日々感じてて、だからこそこの曲で自分が担当する7番のところは本当に自分の心情だったり、本当に行く当てがなくて1年間フリーターやりながら音楽やって親に迷惑かけてっていうのがすごく重なるところがあったりして、でその中でサビで怖くても進めっていうところとか、本当に自分自身ここに投影できるものがいっぱいあって、できっとみんなもそれはどっかの箇所にすごくあるような曲だと思うから、なんかみんなで一個のさっき言ってたようなことをすごく大事にするとともに、俺はやっぱり背負ってきたバックグラウンドっていうか、改めて親とか仲間とか、家族仲間に誇りに思ってほしいというかの誇りになりたいっていうのが自分で一番根っこにあるから、それをぶつけてもなんか受けてくれるみんなだと思うから、
そうだね、
思いっきりやらせていただきたいなと思ってるし、
ぜひやっちゃってください。
みんなも思いっきりやってくださいっていうのがすごくあるから、
俺行こうか。みんなみたいにちょっと語彙力ないんですけど、
恩返しをしたいというか、そういうのもあるから、すごい短くなっちゃうんですけど、この11人で絶対にパフォーマンスをすることです。っていうのだけ言いたかった。
Sorry, this background noise is really frying me.
じゃあ俺
I know.
なんで
It's
22
like,
歳
girl, I
にもな
can't
って
hear.
音楽をやってるかっていうものにちょっと通ずるものなんだけど、おじいちゃんの話になるんだけど、おじいちゃんの話はどうなんだろうと思って言ったのよ。なんかその俺アーティストになりたいなみたいな。でそれでなんか一人がおじいちゃん頑張れよって言ってくれて、その頑張れよって言葉って結構みんな言うじゃん。頑張れよとか。でも俺にとってはその結構その頑張れよが超でかいみたいな。で結局その死んじゃうんだけど、会う前に。だから俺も、誰かのたった一言になりたいなと思って、音楽を始めて、だから諦められないっていうところもまああるみたいなっていうのもあるし、なんかこのなんて言うんだろう、多分これを見た例えば同世代の子たちとか俺の友達とか、まあ、みんなの友達もそうだし、そういう人たちが多分このパフォーマンスを見た時に何かこうなんだろう、ちょっとで前に一歩踏み出すというか、俺にとってのその頑張れだったけど、そういうものになれたらいいなとも思って、ぜひみんなの力を貸してください。
お願いします。
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 お願いします。僕この審査を受ける直前まで、本当に挫折しかけてて、才能はあるって昔から言われてたけど、デビューしないのとか、それで周りが期待してくれてるのに答えられない自分が嫌いになって、自分自身で何回ダンスやめたいって思ったか覚えてもないけど、このオーディションが自分にとっての最後だと思って、この歌詞を見てやっぱ自分はこの道しか知らないみたいな意味じゃないですか。一番最初とか I know this is only way でしたっけ。やっぱこうやって全員が音楽の道を向いて上を目指せるって本当に嬉しいことだから、尊重を絶対に忘れずに、11人で同じ道を歩きたいなっていうふうに僕は思ってて、だからこそこの曲ではそういった力を一つでも落とさずに尊重し合って11人でこの曲を作るっていうことを本当に一人一人が意識したら、日本なんてもうとっくに超えれるものになると思うから、そこは本当に頑張りたいです。
頑張ろう本当に。
話いいですか。
いいよ。
あ、いいよ。
この話しちゃうんですけど、2年前にそのグループデビュー、これと同じようなサバイバルのオーディションやってて、終わってからここまで来る2年間とか毎週レッスンやってたりしたし、それをすることで自分がどんどん上がっていけるって思って信じてやってたんですけど、なんかずっと毎週泣いて、小学1年生の時から歌とかダンスとかやってはいたんですけど、ずっとお母さんがずっと送り迎えとかしてくれて、なんか自分が活躍してる姿を一番身近な家族に届けたいっていうのが本音なんですけど、でもお母さんも3年前に亡くなっちゃったし、
正直その成長してるのも分かんないし、何のために頑張ればいいのかも死人に分かんないか言ったんですけど、でもこの曲通して亡くなったお母さんにも届けてあげたいし、自分はここで頑張ってるよって一番届けたいし、この楽曲通して本当にいろんな人にその11人僕たちの存在を証明して、僕自身もどんどんレベルアップしていきたいと思ってるので、本当になんかいろいろ教えてください。
頑張ろう頑張ろう。
なんか今自分がここにいるっていうのが今でも正直なんかよく分かんなくて、意味分かんなくて、なんかずっと11人とか言ってるんですけど、本当はここにいちゃいけない人っていうか分かんないけど、いてもいいのかなみたいな感じにいつも思ってて。
レイ君がなんでみんなにリスペクトされてるからって僕が言うことじゃないかもしれないけど、単に成長速度が速いんじゃなくて、音楽を愛してるし音楽に愛されてるからって思うから、そこに自信を持ってほしいと思う。本当に
それの意味が分かんない。リラックスしてってよく言われるんですけど、なんかどうやってっても本当にずっと思ってて。
Now that's relatable.
なんかだって落ちたくないじゃん。落ちたくないからなんかずっとなんか頑張ってるけど、そういう保証はないし、だからずっと頑張り続けないといけないから、リラックスしてられる余裕なんてないじゃんって俺はずっと思ってて、なんかもうマジでもう複雑な気持ちで、でも一つ分かってるのは、もうこの曲をやるんだったら、もうそういう悩みとかは置いておいて、もう本当にみんなの頑張ってる姿見て、もうなんか成功させたいなって俺は思ってる。って感じです。
ありがとう。
あの日夢物語と笑われた、その夢を超えるため走り出そう。風の音、雲の鼓動、空の向こう、その先。
それがエンジン組もうぜみんなでビールじゃないトゥーザファースト終わったあれ俺
みんな一人一人言ったことが全てだと思うし、多分本当にこの曲っていうのが多分僕らの人生にとって宝物になると思うし、一生戻らない過去になってこうちゃん、この1秒1秒も絶対にいい作品作って、絶対に周りの人に恩返しして、絶対に日高さん泣かせましょう。そして
That won't be hard. That's funny. Let's make Sky High cry. Yeah, I really liked this episode. It was more emotional than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, I actually kind of forgot that all of that happened in this episode. So that was great for me.
Yeah, I think getting to the end, it's like Because I'm sure when you were watching it, you were like, as you got to the end, you were like, oh my God, I can't stop. I can't stop now.
No, I was literally at this point, like, I think I finished, like, from this screening to the end of the show, I think I finished it in like a day. So,
yeah,
like,
so it makes sense.
I was binging it at this point.
That not everything stuck.
Yeah, not everything stayed in there.
I also really appreciated like hearing their perspectives because like some of them are going into this in like a, you know, career, how much work they've put into this to debut or to make music or whatever. Like Yuhei was one, Sota was one, Shota was one, and then some others went into it in a more emotional kind of way, which Shunto, Leo, was there somebody else that said something that was really
I mean, Reiko.
Yeah. His was on like a
too.
yeah, his was on like a philosophical kind of level, like
yeah.
Yeah. So it was really interesting to like get a look into their minds before they go into this screening, like for real. Like obviously they've done some groundwork for it already, but before they really got into working on the actual performance part, it was cool to see their perspectives going into it because they're coming from a bunch of different situations and backgrounds and experiences, which has been prevalent and true throughout this whole show, but like it was kind of like a refresher course for all of them and then right into the screening.
Exactly. Yeah. They said a lot of good stuff. A lot of stuff that like I'd love to talk for hours about.
Yeah.
But I simply cannot. I loved what Yuhei had to say.
Yeah, especially like
he
about
spoke
his
incredibly well
about his own situation and then what he said to Reiko when Reiko was having a moment.
Yeah. He is an incredibly intelligent, emotionally intelligent 14-year-old boy at this point. Like it's insane how well he talks to people. Like I was thinking earlier in the show, like, oh, it probably sucks for Rui right now because, you know, everybody's so much older than him. And then I remembered that Ryuhei is only 1 year older than him. It just never feels like it. No. And that's not a slight onto Rui. He's just acting like a normal 13-year-old boy.
No,
it's just that Yuhei is not a normal 14-year-old boy.
And what we've seen of them, of the, like, you know, the trainees and Eddie and Yuhei, when they're all interacting together, they also recognize that Yuhei's like cut from a different cloth from the rest of them, and that's like a both a joke and like just a staple of like their group.
Yeah,
I do think
and I mean it's the same in B First too. They all talk about him like that. They're like, that guy's 35 years old, I fear.
Yeah. I do think it's crazy that at 14 he was looking at this audition as his last chance, because like
that's really sad.
He's got really so much, and that it speaks a lot to like the problems that the Japanese music industry and the music industry in general at this point for like idols and like, you know, the field of music that they're pursuing at this point, what it says about that whole thing and the issues that are there that Sky High's been talking about this whole show.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy to me because it's like you're 14. You're not even a quarter of your way through life yet, and you're like, this is my last shot to achieve my dream. And especially knowing, because like I know, and I know you know, he was under XG's label for a little bit when they were sorting out what they were gonna do with that whole thing. And then he was inevitably let go from them, or he left them, however that happened. And it's just like
he should have been playing in the park, and he was doing all this, worrying about all this.
Yeah. And it's just really like sobering, like in a sad way to hear that somebody who's almost 10 years older than him, Junon, is in the same boat as him, but Junon's like, I was going to enter into the workforce after this.
Yeah.
If this didn't work out for me. And he's 14. He hasn't even finished high school. And he's like, this was my last shot too. Like, that's crazy.
That's crazy. It's crazy how many of the guys felt like this was their last shot at all different points in people's lives, in people's, you know, practice careers, you know, like
and Shota
young,
too.
old. Yeah, people who make music, people who don't make music. Like the fact that we've got like a 10-year 9-year spread for age right now, and like also someone who already makes music and someone who has never trained or tried to make music in his life in Reiko is like crazy that this top 11 has like that much diversity in experience among them.
Yeah, and that's why it was also especially hard to listen to Reiko talk, because like I understand where he's sitting at, because like everyone that he's with has some sort of like training or experience, or they worked really hard at something even if it wasn't professional, and he like came into this because he just really loved music. Like that was his whole thing, is that he just loved music, and that's why he wanted to do this. And I understand that at this point he probably feels like his love for music has carried him to this point, and he's like, well, what do I do now? Because it's not gonna carry me much farther. But it was just hard to hear him talk about that, because like he's obviously not seeing the strides that he's made as an artist, and it's like you can't force somebody to see that.
No.
So knowing that he's like a freaking soloist, like not even like part of a boy group. He's a soloist making his own music, doing his own shows. Doesn't he have a one man coming up too now?
I am not certain on his schedule, but yeah.
He's
something coming up.
Yeah, he's got stuff coming up. He's got a new EP
he's got a
coming?
series of singles coming out. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's
like
doing
a 3-part.
He's doing
single
great
series.
But just to see him not being able to recognize his own growth is just so difficult.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's also because everything's happening so quickly. Like, I know realistically they were here for like a whole month, but like
that's still not a lot of time for what's
going
on.
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for this whole process to only take like a couple months total is like, that's a lot happening in a couple months when you're going from 0 to 100 like this.
Yeah.
I think it would do every one of those guys who are sitting on that floor good to watch this video again.
Yep. Yeah, that's actually hilariously what I was thinking too. I was like, they should do a rewatch of this episode.
I was thinking that the whole time. Because, like, unfortunately, I think we watched this at a perfect time.
Yeah.
Like, they said a lot of things that I wanted to say.
Yeah.
So, I might cry right now. Oh my god, crybaby.
I mean, after the couple of weeks that we've had, yeah, this month in general has been horrible to us in particular, and also everyone else around us.
It's not been great. It's been particularly bad, but you know, we live and we learn.
But yeah, that's about it from us. We will see you guys in a couple of days for episode 16-2, where we actually get into probably what I'm assuming is the meat of them. Is it, I'm assuming that they have to do the performances for 17, no? So they're going to be doing a lot of the training and piecing things together and you know, getting all of the, like, basically like what is a rough draft of this screening in the next episode, like part 2, and then 17 is going to be like the performance part.
I think so, yes. And then 17.2 is like the I think 17.1 is the performance, and then 17.2 is like all the aftermath. I think
the commentary and,
I'm not sure.
Everything else that happens after,
and everyone talking, and also an elimination, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that's what happens.
So yeah, we're gonna get into the meat of this screening next episode, and then we're gonna see the screening after that.
Yeah, we're getting so close to the end.
We are.
Can you believe that out of these episodes that we have left, that there's 3 screenings left? There's this one.
Boss is one crazy man.
And then there's the next one, and then there's the last one.
Yeah.
So we're about to get through a lot of stuff very quickly.
But yeah, that'll be it from us. We will see you guys in the next one. Like I said at the beginning, if you want to help us be able to pay for some stuff in New York, because we did lose money, unfortunately. I'm pissed about it, if you can't tell. I'm pissed.
Yeah, we're so not very happy about it, because we should have gotten the money back and we did not.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. That's all we have to say on the matter.
Yeah, on that matter, yeah. So yeah, the Ko-Fi link's in the description for every video, so you can go to this video's description, any other video's description, since we, you know, start talking about going on tour to see them.
Yeah.
It's also in our bio on our page. And those of you that have already given money to us, whether it be like super chats in the comments, stuff like that, just thank you. Like, the Ko-Fi is going to help us in the immediate. But if you would prefer to do it through YouTube, that's totally fine. Just know that it won't help us in the immediate. If that makes a difference for you, I just want to make that clear. It doesn't help us in the immediate. If you want to help us in the immediate, the Ko-Fi is the best way to do that. But if you just want to help us because you like our content, through YouTube is also perfectly fine. And thank you for
doing that. We're not gonna turn anybody away.
Right. No, like, like that would be so
very stupid of us.
Stupid and mean. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, and mean. Like, what do you mean someone gives us money and I'm like, do it the other way?
Yeah, like no.
That's gross behavior.
Yeah, literally, genuine. Like, you don't even have to do that. But the fact that you're doing it, thank you. And then our socials, we have not been super active on Twitter lately.
No.
It's just been a rough month. So tweeting on our socials it's been difficult. We've been kind of
frazzled.
Yeah, kind of removed from everything. Obviously we were on Twitter for the first couple shows of the tour to retweet fan cams and see what people had to say about the performances and you know, the experience and all of that. So we're we're just not like
Shunto smiling.
Oh my god, Shunto was so cute. We could make a whole fucking video about the fan cams that came out of the first 2 shows.
He's so cute.
And that one fan cam of Sota being like in the camera. Oh my god.
I'm normal.
And then Junon getting a fucking perm, bro. Please, please let your hair breathe. Let your hair breathe. I promise it'll be okay.
Yeah, he's like, no, I gotta keep doing stuff to it. He's just like me, actually.
But yeah, we will see you guys in the next episode in a couple of days. Like we said at the beginning, you don't have to agree with us about everything. Obviously, we say that in a lot of videos. You don't have to agree with us about our opinions on everything. That's totally fine. Just don't leave rude comments. They will get deleted, and I will probably block you personally on the account.
Yeah, so this is not a place for discussion, deep discussion on those types of matters.
Yeah,
we're here to talk about the show. We're here to talk about the music. We're here to dissect what we're seeing and what we're looking at. We might touch on some stuff that is, you know, drama adjacent or an opinion that is a little prickly, perhaps.
Yeah.
But
especially when we get to the episode,
this isn't a place for that.
Where, you know, his first
where
his
everything
first mistake happened. But if you want to have conversations like that, There's probably about 500 people having that conversation on Twitter right now and in Reddit and everywhere else. So you can do it there.
Yeah. Yes.
But
thank you for watching.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far.
We know most of our viewers are probably like chill and cool.
Yeah.
So, because we're chill and cool.
Yeah. Most of you guys are.
We're not worried about most of you.
Yeah. Most of you guys are like normal people. We're talking to any possible weirdos. Hopefully we don't have any, but if there are.
Yep.
That's
just
who we're
making
talking
our
to.
Opinion and our point clear.
Yeah. Anyway. Thank y'all for hanging out with us all the time. We do appreciate it. We also appreciate your patience while we're trying to be flexible with, you know, real life things happening on our end, because we do this as a just a fun thing. It's not like our job or anything like that. If we did this as a job, that would be different. But we don't. We do this for fun.
No, for sure. No, this is just for fun. So we have to protect our mental health.
Yeah. That comes first, because if that's in the gutter,
that's the number one.
Then our videos also go in the gutter.
Yeah. Music first? No, actually, it's my mental health first. Then the music.
Yes. But yeah, we will see you guys in a few days. I've said that 3 times now.
Yes. That's okay. That's how we take these videos out.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Bye.